Well, I've been a busy boy with all sorts of things, all sorts of projects, musical and otherwise, you know. I've been remarried, I've got 4 young children, and my responsibility a little bit later on in life is to sort of look out for their welfare. I'm not quite as sort of pushy and ambitious as I once was, so I've been busy with all these things. I'm also sort of the curator, you could say, of the Pink Floyd legacy. There's all sorts of projects that demand an awful lot of time and attention. I've made an album with Paul McCartney. I've played on other albums and all sorts of things, but I've been avoiding the issue for a while, but now I'm back to work and loving it, it has to be said. I would say it's a record that is set in a more personal context. It's not because of any attempt to be different to anything I've done before. It's just that is the way my life seems to be at the moment, and I've been working largely at home, not in a vacuum, but in a small, intimate arena for most of the making of this album, with just 2 or 3 people. Polly, my wife, and Phil Manzanera have been the sort of driving forces kicking me along while we've done it, and I'm in a pretty contented sort of place in my life, and that sort of is reflected in the overall feel of this album, On an Island. I mean, it's not to say that there aren't all sorts of other darker issues sort of buried in there on other levels, but it is it's a statement of where I am right now, and a statement of my and Polly's views on the state of the world and the planet at this time. If it is, it's completely unconscious or subconscious that it's in any way different. I approach it exactly the same as I would have approached a Pink Floyd record. Just write some nice songs and put it all together, but somehow it becomes obvious that it isn't a Pink Floyd record, and there is something different to it. But quite pinning down what makes that process happen is something I can't get to. They are big issues. When you hit 60, as I have, you know, it's something that your mind does tend to dwell on a little bit more. Those issues, the mortality issue. I've lost some close friends, and in the song On an Island, we write about how they live on in our memories, and my belief is that they don't live on anywhere else. So that's where they live on, and memories and dreams. There's also the larger issues of what we are doing to the planet right now that emerge in songs like A Pocket Full of Stones, for example, which is about people who bury their heads in the sand and don't listen to the warnings that are coming to them fairly loudly and clearly these days. The important stuff. The guitar strap, well, it is the guitar strap that Jimi Hendrix used in 1970, and you can see it on the picture at the Isle of Wight Festival in 1970 that Polly bought for me in a music sale at Christie's or somewhere, I guess, and she gave me for my birthday. I think it makes me sound a bit more like Hendrix, don't you? I had a great time. It was a terrific thing to be a part of, and to feel that one's contributing a tiny little thing towards the welfare of this planet, and also on a more sort of personal level to get over some of the difficulties that within sort of this Pink Floyd sort of network have had over the last 20 or so years. It's good to get over that stuff. But and it was a great day, and it was very exciting to be up there and playing in front of that enormous crowd, and yeah, it was a big thrill. I don't really see it as being more out front. I've been pretty out the front of Pink Floyd for a fair old while, and you do what you have to do, and right at the moment I am, obviously courting publicity in a slightly larger way than I would do with Pink Floyd, but that's because my name on its own is just not quite as well known as Pink Floyd's, and I and my manager and other people feel that it's a good idea to try and get the message across that there is an album there and it's worth having a listen to. I feel very strongly that it's a good album, and it would give a lot of people a great deal of pleasure. I mean, if it gives them a quarter of the pleasure it's given me, it couldn't be bad.
Well, first of all, it's not a rock opera. It has nothing to do with rock and roll. Okay. It's a symphonic piece. It's an opera. It's a classical opera. Secondly, we did a concert performance of Seira in Rome in November last year, 2 of them in fact. And after the performance, I got a call in the hotel saying, "There's these Polish guys want to come